I'm trying something new today. Up to this point, I've been focused on KSP videos on my channel, but I've been looking at some other games I'd like to play, and I finally decided to go with No Man's Sky. I'll explain why in a bit. I've been watching No Man's Sky for a few years now. During its development, the game creator Sean Murray sold it as an amazing adventure in an almost limitless universe where you could do just about anything from mining to base building to piracy and trading, but most of all, it was about exploring a vast new universe with over 18 quintillion procedurally generated worlds, something that has never been seen before. Unfortunately, when the game was released, it got a lot of hate from the community for not living up to the hype. In my opinion, this was due to the fact that the game was rushed out in an unfinished state. Nowadays, games do this all the time, but No Man's Sky was not released as a beta version. It was touted as a complete game, and as such, Sony was able to charge a premium price. I believe that was the main sticking point for most of the detractors, and if the developers were more honest in labeling it an early access version with more content to come, it would have gotten a lot less hate. Well, maybe. Fast forward 1 year after release, and you have a number of updates that have added much more content, including lots of missing gameplay options. And with the latest big patch, there's been so many new additions that I think it's finally living up to at least most of the hype. And a 60% off sale on Steam doesn't hurt either. Some of the highlights in the new content include bug fixes, an updated storyline, improved aesthetics and environments, flyable freighters and crashed freighters, new missions, portals, low planetary flight, trading, terrain editing, and most anticipated game option is multiplayer. So this is why I decided to pick up the game and start doing videos on it, and I have to say I'm actually quite impressed. The first thing I did was to start a creative game mode, which is essentially like Sandbox, where you don't really have to worry about gathering resources or dying. You can just explore and build. First thing that struck me about the game was how straightforward everything is. Within a few minutes, I was flying around my home planet and even engaged in a dogfight with two other alien ships. And I was actually able to shoot both of them down without too much of a problem. Although the controls will take a little getting used to, I will likely be using my Xbox controller in the future. And spaceflight is just as easy, especially with helpful hints posted on the screen that tell you what buttons to press in order to engage different drive modes. The first thing I encountered was a fleet of large freighters, which were very interesting to fly around, and I was even able to dock on one of them and explore the vast interior of the ship. I believe I could have taken it over and use it to fly to other star systems, which is a feature added in the latest update, but I'll leave that for another official playthrough. I stopped by a fairly busy spaceport as well, where a surprising number of ships were coming and going, and lots of aliens standing around, all of whom you could interact with and advance the storyline. I didn't need to trade or participate in the game narrative on this walkthrough, so I just continued exploring. Planets had a visual update in the most recent patch as well, and I was able to explore a couple interesting worlds with some strange alien flora and fauna, which has been the hallmark of the game since day one. I was surprised to find out I ran out of resources in flight between planets, but some quick asteroid mining got me what I needed to continue on. I decided to try my hand at building a base as well, and was pleased how quickly I was able to put together a fairly substantial number of structures. Of course, in the normal game mode, I'd need to gather resources in order to build, but in Sandbox, I just needed to place the different components without worrying about their cost. So all in all, I spent about 90 minutes introducing myself to the No Man's Sky universe, and I have to say I barely even scratched the surface. So I'll be spending plenty more time exploring the galaxy in all its strangeness in the coming weeks. I would definitely recommend the game to anyone interested in the space fantasy genre, and I'm not sure how long the Steam sale is going to continue, but it's well worth the price right now. Let me know what you think of the new update in the comments below, and if you're interested in having me do a walkthrough of the storyline, just let me know. Happy landings!